All right, let's cut right to the chase. If you're running a business, you need to understand that the way customers find you online has been completely upended. Seriously, the digital marketing playbook you've spent years, maybe even a decade perfecting, it's broken. The game has new rules, new players, and honestly, a whole new battlefield. So let's start with the most important number you're going to see today, 60%. Nearly 60% of all searches on a mobile phone now end without a single click. Think about that. We're living in a zero-click world now. Your potential customer asks a question, the AI gives them an answer right there on the results page, and that's it. Search over. They got what they needed, and they never, ever visited your website. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, and frankly, a bit alarming. What happens even when you do get featured? Let's say you're one of the lucky ones, and the AI actually cites your website. Well, that direct answer still eats your traffic for lunch. What we're seeing is that being featured in an AI summary cuts your click-through rate almost in half. So you might win the visibility battle, but you're still losing the traffic war. And that brings us to the uncomfortable truth. Your potential customers are getting their answers from AI now, not directly from you. These new answer engines, things like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, they're not just sending you traffic anymore, they are the destination. They pull information from all over, cook up a direct answer, and in doing so, they're making your website basically invisible for a huge number of questions. This forces us to look at a totally new strategic landscape. We're not just dealing with search engines that work like a big directory of links anymore. No, we are now dealing with AI as the new gatekeepers of information, the ones deciding which brands get seen and which ones just get forgotten. And this, right here, perfectly illustrates the shift. I mean, look, on the left, you've got the old world, a list of 10 blue links you had to click through, piecing together an answer for yourself. And on the right, that's the new reality, one single synthesized answer. And I have to stress this. This isn't some far-off future problem. This is happening right now, with billions of queries every single day. And whatever you do, don't make the mistake of thinking this is just about one new competitor. It's an entire ecosystem of them. You're not just optimizing for Google anymore. Now you're fighting for a spot on ChatGPT, on Google's own AI, on Perplexity, Claude, even Grok from X. Each one works a little differently, but they all share the exact same goal. Answer the user's questions so they never have to leave. This is the new mandate, plain and simple. All your past success with SEO guarantees you absolutely nothing today. In fact, if you just keep relying on the old tactics, you're on a fast track to becoming invisible. To survive, you have to adapt everything, your content, your tech, your whole strategy, so you can be understood and, more importantly, trusted by these new AI gatekeepers. So how in the world do we do that? Well, we stop playing the old game and we start mastering the new one. This is not just SEO with a little AI sprinkled on top. It's a whole new discipline called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO for short. Think of it as the official playbook for getting your brand not just seen, but actually recommended by AI. So the framework for winning at GEO really comes down to 3 core pillars. First, you need a rock-solid technical foundation so machines can actually read and make sense of your content. Second, you have to create content that gives real expertise and has a point of view, the kind of stuff an AI can't just make up on its own. And third, you have to build authority through what other people are saying about you across the web. Okay, let's break these down one by one. Okay, pillar 1, the foundation. Look, before an AI can serve you up as the answer, it has to deeply understand what problem you solve. And that all starts with the technical guts of your website. Your content has to be structured not just for human eyeballs, but for the AI crawlers that are scanning it. And the single most critical tool for this is something called schema markup. The easiest way to think about it is like a secret vocabulary you add to your website's code. It doesn't change anything a human sees, but behind the scenes, it's explicitly telling AI models what your content is about. It removes all the guesswork. The best analogy I've heard is this. Schema markup is like a digital ID card for your business. It clearly labels everything for the AI. This is our company name. This is our address. These are our products. Here's what they cost. And here are our customer reviews. Without it, you're basically asking the AI to guess. With it, you're handing it a verified fact sheet. And here are the essentials, the absolute must-haves you should implement immediately. Organization schema to define who you are, product and service schema to spell out what you sell, FAQ page schema to provide ready-made answers to common questions, and review schema to feed the AI those all-important trust signals from your actual customers. So once that technical foundation is solid, we can move on to pillar 2, your content strategy. It used to be that content was designed to rank for a bunch of keywords. Now, your content has to be designed to be the definitive answer. The AI doesn't want fluff or keyword stuffing, it wants real expertise that it can cite with total confidence. This starts right at the top with your page titles. Vague, clever, cutesy titles get completely ignored. A title like, "Thinking about the best way to manage your team," is useless to a machine. But a title like, "How to manage remote teams, systems, tools, and best practices," well, that's direct, it's structured, and it's super easy for an AI to parse when it's looking for a specific solution. You've got to be direct, you've got to be clear. So what kind of content formats do these AIs actually prefer to cite? Well, the data is pretty clear. They have a huge preference for comparative articles, best of lists. These formats are structured almost like a fact sheet, which makes it incredibly easy for the AI to pull out the data, compare the options, and present a really clear recommendation in its final answer. And that brings us to our final pillar, number 3. In this new AI world, trust isn't just built on your own website anymore. It's built across the entire internet. These AI models are actively looking for third-party validation. They want to see your brand mentioned on other credible websites as a signal that you're a real authority. And this slide shows you exactly where AI like ChatGPT is looking for that proof. If you ask it about a topic like robo-advisors, it's not pulling from some small, unknown blog. No way. It's citing high-authority publications like Forbes. It's looking at community-driven platforms like Reddit and encyclopedic sources like Wikipedia. Getting your brand mentioned, talked about, and linked to from these kinds of sites is absolutely critical. So when you put these 3 pillars together, a machine-readable foundation, content that provides real answers, and third-party authority, you start moving toward the ultimate goal, becoming the default answer in your space. So here's your action plan. First, audit your visibility right now. Go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini, go to Perplexity, and start asking the questions your real customers ask. See who shows up. Is it you or your competitor? Second, you have to double down on EEAT. That stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. It's basically the checklist AI uses to verify your content is credible. And third, you have to start monitoring your AI market share, not just your Google rankings. This really requires a complete and total shift in your mindset. You're not competing to be a clickable blue link anymore. You are competing to be the foundational source of truth that the AI itself relies on to form its answers for everyone else. When you're the source, you own the entire narrative. And I have to tell you, the time to get on this is right now. The most forward-thinking brands are already investing heavily in generative engine optimization. We're talking nearly double what their peers are spending. They are moving aggressively to lock in their position as the default answer. This window of opportunity, it is not going to stay open for very long. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. In this new age of AI, where answers are just given and links are mostly ignored, is your brand going to be the trusted source of truth that powers the conversation? Or are you going to become just another forgotten link, buried by the very engines that now run the web?